It is our last class, and I'm going to miss this class. I had a great time in these 6 weeks that we were together. I learned a lot from my fellow classmates, and at the same time, I learned a lot from our instructor. And I can't believe this is the final week. But at the same time, you're going to see me staring up like I did in the last video because I had printed up a cheat sheet for myself for this last video. So, what have I learned in this class? Just that I know that there's so many different things that I tried to use and implement during this class. When making my e-portfolio, I'm going to go ahead and use the website Zunal. And some of you are familiar with Zunal. We used it before in our other Malt classes. So Zunal is something I will be using for my e-portfolio. And my original idea for my e-portfolio was going to interview a former Ashford alumni. But when I got in contact with her, it didn't go well. She was kind of freaked out that I wanted to talk to her via email. Since we were both, we're strangers and we don't really know each other. But I was just really reaching out to her because she was a fellow Ashford grad, and I liked the project that she originally did. And the project that she originally did was she did a blog about doing slides on PowerPoints instead of using it, transition it slowly, and then you see it going left to right. She put it in a JPEG format, and she made it on her blog that it shows it in just one big, one big screen. And so it's actually pretty good. I liked it, but I decided not to go ahead and go do that route for that project. So instead, I will go ahead and discuss online notebooks. If you guys are not unfamiliar with online notebooks basically are a website that either is free or you pay for it. The one I found is something great. It can be utilized for students and for teachers. And you basically, when you have homework and you forget your notes as a student, you can go on your teacher's link and you can click it, and you can see if you have any new assignments, any late assignments, new assignments, or if you have anything that's due at that moment. As a teacher, for your students who are like, oh, I lost my handout when I went home, I lost the syllabus, oh, I don't have the piece of paper my teacher gave me in class on Monday. Well, there's no excuse for you students out there. You have the online notebook so the teachers can keep track of it. So I like that idea, and I think it's something I will utilize for myself personally when I have to go ahead and keep track of things, in my personal life, and I'm not going into any more schooling for right now, but I think it's just something great. And if I eventually, start teaching, my own class on my own, I think it'll be something I'll use. As of right now, in the classroom that I'm teaching, they have no use for it, but I think it's something that I will utilize in my personal life to keep track of, like, making appointments and dates and stuff like that. But, excuse me, I will be talking about, like I said, the online notebook, and it's a really great tool. So I will go ahead and talk about that in the discussion for this week 6 project, for this week 6 assignment. And at the same time, I'm going to give you an insight to what I'm going to be doing. And one thing I learned about this class is that, every week I put in my best effort, and every week all the articles that we read, I learned so much. And I feel that I'm more comfortable, with technology when it comes to utilizing online resources like, say, a website like Zunal, or talking about PowerPoints, or looking at different articles about different educational resources. That's what I've learned in this class, is that there's so many free resources out there. You just gotta look and find them on your own, or even use the Ashford Library, which I always utilized. The one thing I used all the time was the Ashford Library. Preferably, I used the ProQuest library. That was the library that I used when I was in my undergraduate here at Ashford in 2006. So I decided that I liked it, and I just kept using it. And then when they added more libraries to the Ashford catalog, the database, I still utilize ProQuest. It's still my favorite. So, and one thing I did like I said, was and I contacted that former alumni. That was one of the things that I tried to do for inspiration and everything. It didn't work out. So unfortunately, my project is going a different direction, like I said. And, there's a lot of people in this class that are familiar, to me. And a lot of you were new. So, good luck to everybody and, happy graduation. At the same time, the one person that really is a constant through this whole thing was my wife. She kept me focused on my homework and at the same time made sure that I stayed on task with everything. And that's what inspired me, to finish schooling. Because every week, with every class that I've done, you have 5 or 6 weeks. It gets a little hard because, you work full time, you go to school full time, and then you have a full time life. And, it can be very draining, very tiring. But she was a constant that kept me going. It kept me reminding, okay, you do your homework. Okay, it's Sunday, you gotta do your homework. She never wanted me to do my homework on Monday because she felt like I'd be rushing it, which is true. So setting some goals for myself, in collaboration with my wife, was going ahead and making sure that my homework was done no later than Sunday night, before 9, so I could enjoy, my week without having to worry about, oh, did I do my homework on Monday? Okay, when I get home from work, I have to rush and do my homework. Because when I took my time and actually opened up, the textbooks, or I looked at the online articles, and utilized these articles and textbooks, the day before, like on a Saturday, when Sunday came along, I could just go ahead and do my rough drafts, put the final pieces together, and then actually give a good, assignment. Go ahead and make a great paper and submit it. So I found this class to be very interesting and very fun. I found it very easy for me, not because it wasn't challenging. It's just because everything that I learned every week was so much fun. And one thing I like is learning about all the different things our teacher can offer to us. I've never had a professor like this teacher here that I actually made me challenge myself to add more content, more, make myself more opinionated about, what I thought about the class and everything, about the, assignments and everything. And I think the discussions every week, you know, really, really like intrigued me, and I really liked it a lot. So at the same time, the challenges I did have in this class were, some days I just did not feel like doing my homework, and especially when the holidays came around, it was just like really hard. And then even now, I'm like a little under the weather. That's why you see me bundled up in my sweater and everything. So, staying on task, just, life in general can be so challenging sometimes. But, I decided that I need to stay on task. Get my e-portfolio done, get all the content done, talk about the online notebook, all these different things, because these are all important things I need to stay on task with. So at the same time, I feel that, for everyone who's doing their final project, I think if you really are trying to do something that reflects you, your interests, it'll be a great project. And I think that's why my project also shifted in a different direction from what I originally started, because I feel like last week I had like an epiphany, because I was like, oh, this online documenting, this online notebook is amazing. It's just basically a Word program online, and recording everything and then sharing it, the link, with your students. So I'll go ahead and post a link below in the week 6 discussion, and even in this video I'll go ahead and put a link below, and I will be posting this on YouTube for everybody to view. So like I said, if you see me looking up, it's because I'm looking at my little cheat sheet. And I think the design and development challenges, I really didn't have a lot of those, except for, the bubble.us. That's something I've never really been good at utilizing. But I think later on, after I kind of like, messed around with it and kind of like see whatever, different topics I can highlight in the future for work or for my personal use, I'll be able to make better use of it. It's just one of those things that can be very frustrating for me, because I don't have a lot of patience with myself when it comes to trying to learn new things. And I think that's my downfall with school. And those are some of the challenges I do have, is when I do get focused, sometimes when I get on task. I forget that take a breather and give myself, a chance to really look and see the bits and pieces, the parts of how to really, utilize and follow through with my assignments. So I think, the one thing I'm gonna do is, try to go ahead and look at everything that in the past 6 weeks that I've learned about, and I've always, starred everything on my Google Chrome because I think everything that I've learned so far really stayed with me. All of the, speakers, all the articles, all those different things really just spoke to me. The one article that we had about education, about kids not being creative anymore, that really stuck with me because I was one of those kids. I was into drawing, I was into art, I was into tap dancing, all these different things. But as you grow older, when you go to a public school or even just school in general, they're focusing on writing, reading, arithmetic, math, science. But sometimes there are kids that don't want to have those careers. There are some kids that are more creative and they would rather just go ahead and, hey, you know what? Maybe I want to be a dancer, or maybe I want to be an artist. Maybe I want to act in the theater. All these different things. And that's the one thing is I myself, my wife and I, when we have kids, we never want to restrict our kids. We want them to fall down and make those mistakes because how are you going to learn if you don't try it for yourself? And that's one thing I think, was lacking when I was growing up. And I think when, we heard that speaker talk about in his video that the time you get to be a certain age, you lose that artistic, you know, part of you. And I feel like I'm rediscovering that within myself because, just every week in this class I learn so much. And at the same time, being a kindergarten teacher, I'm learning a lot because, the program that we've been using in the classroom, Raz Kids, you guys probably heard me talk about it. Another program that we do use is pbskids.org. It's a great website, has a lot of kid-friendly games, videos, and it's just something that, PBS is such a cool, website, a cool channel because, you have your Sesame Street and everything from back in the day that are still current, that kids still like. But at the same time, you have Wild Kratts and everything. And if you've never seen pbskids.org, you should check it out with your kids or even for yourself to see, the new things that are being offered out there. And they're really great for learning and they're just fun, because it's better than, kids at, a young age playing, violent video games and everything. It's more like completing tasks and working as a team to go ahead and make things work. So like I said, check out razkids.com, check out pbskids.org, and at the same time, if you're looking for more links, feel free to email me, and I will go ahead and share those ideas with you. At the same time, I think that, one thing I've learned from everyone else here, from all the different experiences that we all have in different backgrounds, that, you never stop learning. You never stop growing as an educator and as an adult because even though I'm going to be 38 next year, it still doesn't mean I already know everything. I'm good. I don't need anybody to tell me anything. And a perfect example is my lead teacher in my classroom is 10 years, almost 10 years younger than me, and I'm the oldest teacher in the classroom. The other teacher's 33. So being in this field for almost 18 years, I had to swallow my pride and my ego, and I had to step back and be like, oh, so this kid's gonna teach me how to become a better teacher. But actually, I did learn from her, and I'm learning from her now. And then I just found out recently that she got promoted to be my assistant director, and I was happy about that because it's going to go ahead and have her be my administrator, so she'll still be around to train me and show me new things. And the one challenge I think that's going to be coming up also is there's going to be a new lead teacher coming up in January. So there's so many transitions that have been happening at my work, and it's been kind of stressful. But I think at the same time, at this point in my career, I'm finally, for the first time, actually listening to other people, which I've never done before. I've always been like, oh, I'm the man. I know everything. I got it. I'm good. You don't need to tell me what to do. But for the first time, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know that. Let me learn from you. Can you teach me? And so now I'm actually becoming the student when it comes to learning new things in the classroom. And I like it a lot because now my attitude towards everything is more relaxed and it's more like apprehensive. I'm like more willing to like open my mind and like hear everything. So in regards to, what I'm going to do with all this information, I think it's going to help me, with my job because I can always share what I've learned with my coworkers. Because if they want to go to school, I'm always like, pushing out Ashford out there, and I've actually had past coworkers and my brother, older brother, attend Ashford. So I'm very like proud of my school. Go Saints. I'm like really always ready to like tell people about the online experience, and that's like another thing that I think I benefited from being in school here since 2006. That I've been a student so long at Ashford University, and I've seen it grow so much. And I'm really happy to say that, in the next week, I'm going to be graduating again with my second master's degree. So 3 degrees from Ashford University because of all the hard work and all the different transitions that I have received, going through the school. So, you know, everybody, good luck in the future with your work, school, and everything else in life. So I will be posting this video on YouTube. Everybody have a good night. Go Warriors.